Calaroga Shark Media.
I am psyched. The hot weather's finally come to the Northeast. The Knicks are winning. Life's good. I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. The Hollywood Roundtable. No, that's not what it's called at all. I'm leaving it in. I'm in a good mood. The Hollywood Reporter did a roundtable. There's no such thing as the Hollywood Roundtable as far as I know, but the Hollywood Reporter did a roundtable. They say gather 5 of the most relevant comedians working today and ask them what scares them most, and the answers vary. Complacency comes up, so does cancellation. Marc Maron says, and sometimes people don't hear comedy for comedy. They're like, well, I don't really believe that. And I'm like, good, because it's a joke, stupid. Who was on the roundtable, which took place in May at the fancy Georgian Hotel in Santa Monica, Marc Maron, Nikki Glaser, Wanda Sykes, Leanne Morgan, and Julio Torres. There's a crew. And we are told, get your eye roll ready, Johnny Mac. Are your eyes ready to roll, John? Yes, they are. All of whom have released specials in the past year for a wide-ranging, often raunchy conversation about comedy, politics, bombing, and yes, Glaser's desire to be, as she puts it, effable. Oh, Nikki. As I went through this, and I'll pick at it today and tomorrow, I found Marc Maron and even Nikki Glaser interesting. I am finding Nikki increasingly annoying. I think that's clearly leaking out into the show. I found Wanda, Leanne, and Julio uninteresting, so I'm mostly going to quote from Glaser and Maron. THR asked, what was the last experience where you thought in the moment, well, at least this will make good comedy? Maron said, well, I've been talking to myself more than usual. In the moment, I don't think it's very funny, but I'm starting to think this is an avenue that I can explore. I don't know if that sounds sad or not, but I have 3 cats and I'm not talking to them. Even when they're like, what's going on? I'm like, no, I'm going to keep this to myself. It's between me and me. THR. Nikki, you recently said that stand-up is like sex. Nikki Glaser. When I'm on stage, I believe in ways and say things that I would never say off stage, similar to sex. I feel unbridled. I feel like I can make different noises and faces and do things with my body that I would never do in front of my friends and family or the general public. Having to then hear feedback about anything I did on stage always feels to me like someone after sex being like, remember when you said that one thing? No, I don't want to hear what I said. There's a detachment for me, and I'm kind of embarrassed by that person. So I'm glad that everybody watches it, but I don't want to watch it, and I don't want to hear what you think. They talked about working clean versus dirty. Nikki Glaser said, once you get agents and people who are weighing in and you want to be marketable, I get a lot of don't be dirty. And not only because you can't be on network TV talking like that, but it's also what all female comics do. And so you're doing the easy thing. I go, well, is it easy for other women to talk about their private parts look like on stage? It's easy for me, but why wouldn't you want me to do something that comes easy to me? The Hollywood Reporter was curious who's saying to work clean. Maron said bookers, club owners, agents. Glaser added in, and TV. Early on, because of my stand-up, I wasn't chosen to do a lot of things on network TV because they're just worried you might go off and talk about an advanced sexual thing. Very advanced. Very, very advanced. You even go on radio and they're like, no, this is a show where families are listening. And I'm like, I know where I am. I preferred Maron's answer, which is part of me is always a little dirty just to keep those people away. And by that, I mean success. But I've done clean sets because we all had to do them. If you're doing Letterman, you had to be clean. I could do it. And I don't talk dirty stuff as much as I used to because I'm old. It doesn't age well. Hannah Berner has got a special out today on Hulu. It is called None of My Business. Hannah told Variety, after my Netflix special, I was like, I have to do that again? How many specials do you have to put out? It's crazy. I was really nervous about how I was going to make these jokes as good as the ones that are so tried and true and tested. But I also realized that my Netflix special wasn't good because of the particular jokes. It was good because I was being myself. And now I'm better at writing jokes. I'm better at performing, and I've had more experience. Being on stage is all about aura and confidence, and you can't help but get better the more you're on stage. Stand-up comedy was healing for me after dealing with reality TV, which was a blessing. Stand-up made me just feel so myself, because even if something didn't go well, at least I was authentically being myself. It made me want my voice to be heard. I felt like my voice was shrunk, and I wanted female voices to be heard in all their emotions. If I wasn't feeling that excitement to do that, I wouldn't be crazy enough to tour for 5 years. You have to have a chip on your shoulder and be like, I'm getting a Netflix special, I'm getting a Hulu special, I have stuff to say, I can't be quieted down. For the new special, Hannah Berner says, I want it to be the people's comfort show. I want them to be able to put it on when they're feeling down and to be able to watch it with their friends and to share clips that they can relate to. I want people to feel less alone in any of the tough times in life. I hope this comedy special adds a little brightness. Hannah Berner, None of My Business, Hulu, today. Seems like Bert Kreischer has seen the light. He was speaking to Fox. Now, remember earlier in the year, there was the whole bus fire thing? Well, Bert shared with Fox News that In early January, Bert had gone to the ER after severe leg pain woke him up in the middle of the night. At the hospital, doctors found a blood clot behind his knee and discovered additional clots in his lungs. He was placed on blood thinners and had to stop drinking. Now back to the bus fire. Bert says 2 weeks after it burned down, I got to go on my new tour bus with my same tour bus driver who was in the fire, and he says to me casually, and it didn't affect me at all, he goes, "Man, you're lucky you got that blood clot." Bert was like, "What?" And he goes, "Old school Bertie boy would have been drinking. You didn't pass out in the back. We would have just let you sleep. Bus would have caught on fire, man. You would have been dead. That thing caught up in 30 seconds. Bert said, "I've realized how valuable life is. I realized how luck works in certain ways, and you got to see everything as lucky because all those things are real." 7 Days Vermont caught up with Lori Kilmartin. They were curious about her talking about her Gen Z son in her comedy and what Lori Kilmartin finds disturbing or ridiculous about the Zs. Lori said, "I don't know. I mean, I guess the only thing I'm sort of bummed out about is they don't hang out together in person. They go online and he's hanging out with his friends, but they're not in person. They're losing something, the ability to make small talk and just being bored with each other. So that kind of bums me out." WrestlingInc.com, your home for comedy news, spoke to Michael Che about wrestling. Che was a guest on Stephanie McMahon's What's Your Story podcast. Would Che like to write for WWE? Che said, "I would love to do that. That'd be a bucket list. That could be really fun. I'm a fan, you know?" He then name-checked a bunch of wrestlers I'm not familiar with. Che's a big fan of Paul Heyman, saying he's one of the best people I've ever seen on television, like he's on the short list of the people. I don't know why he's not a 4-time Emmy winner. He's so good on television. Every time he's on, it's like something cool or developing. I had a meeting with Paul Heyman once. Very, very likable. Very likable guy. Wish I'd gotten to work with him. Star Trek ruiner Patton Oswalt is mad about food bowls. He was on the Snacks podcast. The Star Trek ruiner is upset with KFC's famous bowl, the menu item that combines mashed potatoes, chicken, corn, cheese, and gravy into one container. Patton said, "It's clearly, what stuff do we have left over? Can we dump it in a bowl and cover it in gravy?" That sounds pretty good, actually. Doug the Vulcan continued, "The reason I think bowls have caught on, because now every place offers bowls, is because half our time now we're staring at a screen, and a bowl is a way you don't have to need to look at what you're eating." He's got a point there. We've got to stop the bowls. No more bowls.
Comedy stock market.
Thank you, Burt Reynolds. Every week in the comedy stock market, we look at what comedians are overvalued and undervalued, and much like you would in a real stock market, we try and make some money on the folks. You get how this all works. We're going to buy low and we're going to sell high. It's been a very quiet week. You can tell from the stories that are making the podcast the last 2 days. Not much going on after the whole Stephen Colbert farewell thing, so I've got two for you. Let's buy some Tracy Morgan. There's Tracy. He's at the Knicks games. The Knicks are winning. Everybody's happy. Tracy Morgan. Sure, why not? Let's buy some Tracy Morgan. Plus, people seem to like that NBC sitcom. And one sell for you. If we have any left, let's just sell our Nate Berkus. I mean, that movie bombed so hard, and I'm going to continue to first guess this theme park thing. What are we even doing, Nate? Just you're making more money than anybody, according to Billboard, when you do the comedy tours. Just do a comedy tour. So a pretty simple one today. Buy Tracy Morgan, sell Nate Berkus. Nuva.net caught up with Guy Branum. He likes trivia. Now, I didn't make trivia this week. We're between volleyball seasons, but Wednesday night was the Knicks. So I couldn't go to Wednesday night trivia. I had to watch the Knicks. The trivia guys won't put the Knicks up on the TV. They want their trivia questions up on the TV, so I had to stay home. Got the same issue coming up for Game 4 on Wednesday. I have to hope my volleyball game is at either 6:30 or 7:30. I haven't seen the schedule yet. Guy Branum said, "I think comedy and trivia come from the same place of wanting to be right and proving to yourself that you have a mind that's quick. In the same way that I was growing up during the golden age of comedy, I was growing up during the golden age of Jeopardy, and they're both ways of learning about the world. Jokes tell you so much about the world as a kid you don't understand, and so does trivia. When I was in college, I was on the Quiz Bowl team, but at Berkeley, I wasn't good enough to travel. I only got to play when we were at Berkeley. Then I went to law school at the University of Minnesota, and one of the good things about it was they had a nice endowment, so we traveled a lot. And I got to see the college towns of the then Big Ten. It was a lot of driving around the Midwest, learning about the importance of Steak and Shake, and that one McDonald's that's on a weird bridge over the highway on the way to Chicago, and which towns in Wisconsin were the best to stop for pie. I'm in on all that." And I got a pitch from the people at OpenMicX.com. They have some data. Which cities have the most active open mic scenes? what stage time costs now, free mics versus paid mics, why Thursday is a big night for open mic nights, and what comics on the road can learn from city to city. Let's call up the data on a slow news day and see what they got. All right, Thursday is the peak night for open mics. Looks like there's a bar graph here. Thursday, number 1, Wednesday 2, Tuesday 3, Monday 4, Sunday 5, Friday 6, Saturday. That according to 2,263 published recurring open mic listings. Open mics by states on OpenMicX. Top 10 states: New York, California, Texas, Illinois, New Jersey, Florida, Arizona, Washington, North Carolina, Pennsylvania. Not surprised there. And the top venues and ticket sources for open mics. Number 1, the NYC Comedy Club, followed by Second City, Eventbrite, Laugh Factory, Showclicks, Leap, Flappers, Elysian Theater, Improv, Tixer, TIXR, Comedy Mothership, Zany Chicago, and there's a lot more here. And you can check all this out at OpenMicX.com. And that is your comedy news for today. Don't forget, it's June, so what are you doing? You're sharing the show with a friend. That's what the rule is. You have to share the show with a friend this month. And don't forget, you can follow the show on Spotify, turn notifications on so you never miss an episode, and comments are on there. And you can always comment in the Facebook group as well, Daily Comedy News Podcast group. By the time you're hearing this, Dylan has already watched the Hannah Berner special 3 times and updated his top comedy rankings, so you can check that out on the Facebook group, Daily Comedy News Podcast group. See you tomorrow.